Hey everybody, you're seeing a first glance of these gorgeous lights. I'm going to show you very up close the full installation. You're not going to believe how I installed these. You probably won't be doing it this way, but this is a unique option. I'll show you a very up close look and show you a nice surprise over on that side at the end. Okay, so this is the first installation spot, and I have measured and leveled out where these holes will fall on the wall, and they're going to go right in here. So now I'm going to take the hardware that was provided with this set, and I'm going to put anchors in the wall. Now, normally, those who are putting this up in a traditional sense, their junction box would need to be centered behind this circle. However, as you know, I'm doing this a little differently, and I love the flexibility. Also, I'm doing this horizontally. You can also do this vertically, and it would look beautiful in any case. But what my wife says goes, and she wants it horizontally, and I think it's going to be beautiful. So we'll see how this looks when it's all said and done. I want the holes tight, but not too tight. Let's wallow it out just a little bit. There we go. Perfect. Okay, so I'm going to line this up here, and let's get a screw started on each side of this. And then we'll tighten it down. And since this has a slot, it allows you for a little adjustment in case you didn't measure properly. And so we're going to make sure we're equal on both sides. I marked the center so I can see that we are at this point perfect. So let's tighten it down. Now we're going to do a dry fit of the actual fixture on here and see how it lines up. I have made a mark right there, if you can see it, with a little Sharpie. That's where I'm going to come out with a cord. That's going to come over to this, even with this upper portion of this trim, and then it's going to come down the wall with a covered sleeve so it won't be noticeable. I'll paint it the same color as the wall. Just line it up with these screws that come out and use the nuts that come with it, these beautiful colored gold heads here, and let's put that on. Oh yeah, this is very, very pretty. Okay, I've just got to do it. We're going to throw the Alabaster from Spain in here very fast and see what it looks like before we even wire it. So the way this is installed is you just simply slide it right in here carefully. Get it even on both sides. And then you gently tighten the screws that are on the bottom and on the top. Be careful to pull it out all the way so that it's flush with this part right here. And let's do the top. You don't have to do it very tight at all, and it's in there and it's perfect. I'm going to step back and take a look. Look how pretty that is. That is great. I can't wait to reveal this to you when the light is on it, and when it's on both sides of the room. So this is very symmetrical in this bedroom, in this master bedroom, on each side of the master bed. So it comes with these gloves, but I already manhandled this and got my fingerprints all over the back of it because I was doing something that most of you guys will never need to do. Because I'm installing it the way I am by wiring in an external plug, I did a little grinding, and I cut me a little area here that the wire can go through. So I got it all fingerprinted. But now I'm just going to simply wire up the black and the white wire to that extension cord that I purchased. And then we're going to put the ground on the wall plate, and then we're going to get this all hooked up. Okay, so off with the gloves. I'm not going to need these. I've already got it all messed up as far as fingerprints. Now, you guys are not going to need to grind this if you're putting this in the traditional way. This is just the way I needed to do it for my circumstances. And the reason is I'm not an electrician, and I don't have an outlet or a junction box where I wanted to install this, but I do have a wall outlet down below it. So I simply am wiring this together, and I'm going to put electrical tape on here to hold it all in place. This will be perfect, and I will put it right in place where I can then take the extension cord that I purchased that I'm currently wiring to this fixture, and I can just put it down the wall by covering it with a mirror that's already in that position. And on the other side of my bedroom, there's a dresser that's in that position. So I'm going to cover it, and I'm going to use this type of wire cover so that the wire that is coming out of the fixture will not be exposed. It's going to look great. Now, in addition to this, I purchased some remote controls that I can plug into the wall, and then I'll have the remote control both on my side of the bed, and it came with 2 remotes, and I'll have one on my lovely wife's side of the bed on her nightstand, and both of us can control these lights with a click of an on and off switch from that remote control. Pretty slick, if you ask me. This is going to be a great setup, and it's going to add so much beauty to the home. And I've wrapped this one around, and I'm going to wrap it around here and just tape this down into place, because this wire is going to go right through here. Just enough to hold it while I'm putting it up on the wall. We'll take this ground wire and we'll wire it to the ground coming out of the wall bracket. And it's really just this simple, even if you're doing it out of the wall junction box that comes straight out of the wall. You just have a black, white, and ground, and you're all set. So like I mentioned, here's the ground wire coming off of the wall mounting plate. And I'm going to take this ground wire that's connected to the base, and we're going to tie them together and give them a twist. So now we're just going to put the wire nut on the 2 ground wires that we're putting together here. Get that nice and secure. And this extra electrical tape that I have, I'm going to wrap it around just to give it a little bit more of a secure connection here. And I'm going to bring all of this over this way. And now I'm going to lay this on the screws. Let's get this all connected, get the bulbs in, and let's see how this looks. And then I'll show you the finished product after it's fully covered, and I'll show you both sides and how this changes the entire room. Okay, so they send all the bulbs that you need for this, and there may even be extras. I'm not sure, I didn't count them, but I know there's plenty to get started. And these bulbs will last a long time. They are LED, so they use very, very little energy, and so you're going to save money there. So let's pop that one in, and we'll pop the other one in. We'll put the alabaster on. And by the way, this is Spanish alabaster. And on the other side of the room, this is going to pair with a piece of Spanish yadro. And you are going to see a beautiful display over there. Okay, the bulbs are that easy to just push in with the 2 pins. Let's get the alabaster on. Here we go. This is just a beautiful stone. I'm telling you, it's gorgeous. Just pull this forward, get it even on both sides. And like I said, you don't need to tighten it too much. And just to remind you, you will not see this cord here. I'm going to cover it, and it's going to look absolutely hidden. But if you're putting this right into the wall, into a junction box, obviously you don't have to worry about a cord coming out. But I wanted you to know that this could be done in a couple of different ways. Just make sure that what you're doing is safe and it's electrician approved. Okay, as you can see, I don't have the cord hidden yet, but I did plug the remote in, and I've got it in the wall outlet below the mirror. So what I'll be doing is I'll be taking the cord over to the edge of the wall and straight down. And again, it's going to be covered and it's not going to be visible. So that's kind of what it's going to look like. So picture that. And I'm going to show you this at the end on both sides of this room and how these remotes are going to make it work. So I chose remote number 4 for this. Let's give it a click. It would help if I took the battery cover out of this brand new remote and I hooked it in. Let's see if it works now. I'm going to turn the light down low a little bit. And again, we're going to turn power on. Oh, yes. Yes, I'm going to turn this off. Look at that light. It puts off a beautiful cross in the shadow here, and I absolutely love that. Let me let you see it from the front. Isn't that beautiful? Wow. All right, so I went ahead and I just had to show you the side. It's covered, you guys. Look at that. Now, I've not painted it yet. I've not painted it the color of the wall, but look how that's hidden. I love it. You see how I matched it up at the top, right where I brought the wire out and down to the side of the wall? Looks beautiful. I will say that the video quality of the light does not do it justice, because on the video, I noticed that you don't see a lot of light coming from each of the ends, but in real life, in person, that light is blended much better. It looks like on video that this is too bright right here, but it's not. It's very well blended and it looks beautiful all the way across. Especially when the lights are out on camera, it just does not look accurate. But promise you, this thing is gorgeous. Okay, I've got both sides installed. Let's get an up-close look at it. This is beautiful. I want to show you the view from the bed, and I want to turn these other lights down. So this is the view from one side of the bed, and here's the view from the other side. So over here we have this Spanish alabaster light casting a beautiful shadow down on this Spanish lladro. And it just turned out so pretty. And as I said before, we installed these horizontally. You can install them vertically. We love how it casts the shadow. And look at the ceiling. It puts a nice bright light across the ceiling. And of course it's daylight outside, but you can still see that pretty light up there. And it does the same thing over on the other side. And there's the other side with the mirror over there. And you can see the light on the ceiling. It sets a really nice mood in the bedroom. Just gorgeous. These light fixtures were sent to me so that I could install them and share them with you. I hope this video has been helpful. It definitely gave you some options and some alternatives to consider when installing these light fixtures, but they are extremely high-end and very, very beautiful. I hope you enjoy yours. Take care.